boys and girls, welcome to Everyday Math Lesson 8.1, Equal Parts of 1. The materials that you'll need today, notebook paper, pencil, math journal, template, and crayons. Let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is go over our math boxes from the previous lesson. So if you can open up your math journal to page 182. If you're noticing that you have any mistakes, please fix those with your pencil and eraser. So for our first question, show 3 ways to make 45 cents. There's lots of possible answers. These are the ways that I picked today. I said a quarter, which is 25 plus 2 dimes, so I would have 35, 45. I picked 4 dimes, so I have my 10, 20, 30, 40, plus a nickel to get me to 45. 3 dimes, which is 30 cents, and then starting to count by 5, so I would have 35, 40, and then 45. For question number 2, 6 children, each has 4 stickers. How many stickers in all? So I finished my diagram. I put in 6 children, 4 stickers per child to give me a total of 24. And for this problem, I chose to do repeated addition. So I know that 6 plus 6 equals 12, and I know that 12 plus 12 equals 24 to get my answer. For question 3, show 52 degrees on a thermometer. So yours should look something like this. For question 4, put these numbers in order. So we're doing it from smallest to largest. So I have 15 3 different times because there was 3 15s in my order. Then 19, 25, 25, and 75. Which number is the most popular or the mode? And that would be 15. For question 5, write a number model for a ballpark estimate and then solve. The unit I picked today were dogs. So 47 I know would round to 50, 31 is going to round to 30, 50 minus 30 equals 20, and then when I'm solving for my actual answer, I know that 7 minus 1 is 6, and 4 minus 3 is 1, giving me my total of 16. For question 6, write less than, greater than, or equal to in the box. Now I can see that for half and 2/4, the same amount is shaded. So they are equal. 1/2 is the same thing as 2/4. So double check to make sure you have your page correct before moving on to the next part of the lesson. For this next part of the lesson, if you can write down your answers on either your whiteboard or notebook paper, if the speed is too fast, pause as often as needed. For this first part, we're going to double these numbers. So like how I showed you 4, if I double 4, I have 8. So could you press pause and double 5, 6, and 7, and then press play when you're ready to check these 3? Okay, so if I'm going to double 5, my answer would be 10. If I'm going to double 6, my answer would be 12. If I'm going to double 7, my answer would be 14. Let's try a few more. Could you solve the double for 8, 9, 10, 12, and 15? Press pause and play when you're ready to check. All right, so if I'm going to double 8, my answer would be 16. If I'm going to double 9, my answer would be 18. When I'm doubling 10, my answer would be 20. When I'm doubling 12, my answer would be 24. Now when I'm doubling 15, well, I know that 10 plus 10 is 20, and I know that 5 plus 5 is 10. So 20 plus 10 would bring me to 30. So doubling 15 is 30. We'll work more on doubling in future lessons. The next thing I'm going to ask you to do is, can you draw a square on your whiteboard or in your notebook just like how I have right here? And then will you divide it into 2 equal parts? Press pause and play when you're ready to check. All right, so when I divided mine into 2 equal parts, I chose to draw my line going up and down. You also could have had one going across, going horizontally. Now, second graders, if I were to put a star in one piece, how much do I have? How many pieces has the star in it? Or what fraction has the star? 1/2. So 1 out of the total of 2 is covered with a star. Let's try another problem kind of like this. So now, could you draw a square, or you can keep your same square, but can you divide it into 4 equal parts? Press pause and play when you're ready to check. All right, so this time I just added one more line so that I have my same square, but now it has 4 equal parts. Now, what if I take a star again and I put a star in one part? What fraction has the star in it? So I would have 1 out of the total of 4. So 1/4 of my pieces is covered with a star. Let's try one more problem like this. So now can you take that same square and will you divide it into 8 equal parts? Press pause and then play when you're ready to check. All right, so for this one, I kept my same 4, but then I added 2 more lines. I split a line here and then also here, so I have 8 equal parts. And yours might look a little bit different, and that's okay. Now, if I put a star and cover one of the pieces, what fraction is covered by a star? And it would be 1/8 because 1 out of a total of 8 pieces. So we're going to continue talking about fractions on this next part. So equivalent fractions means it's the same amount. We saw a problem like this today in math boxes where half is going to be the same thing as 2/4 because notice how the same amount is shaded. Another term that we're going to hear when we talk about fractions is the top number is going to be called the numerator. Can you say that? Numerator. And the bottom number we call the denominator. Can you say that name? Denominator. So the terms that we talked about equivalent fractions. That means that they are the same, they are equal. Our numerator is our top number, our denominator is our bottom number. So now let's put our notebook or our whiteboard to the side and we'll take out our math journal. And can you open up to page 184? We'll talk about that page first. So you're going to need your template for this page. And so looking at question number 1, it says divide the shape into 2 equal parts. And then they want you to color one part. And so they told you the part that's colored is going to be half, and then how much is not colored. So let's just do that first one together. I'm going to cover up my screen here. So when I cut that in half, I have it looking something like this, and then I colored in that part, and so you can see that the part not colored is a half. So both half for both of those fractions. So now, could you take a look at question number 2? You're going to divide this into 6 equal parts, and you're going to color one part, and then tell me the fractions that are colored and not colored. And then you're going to divide this into 3 equal parts and color 2 of the parts. And then the last one, you're going to divide the shape into 4 equal parts and color 2 of the parts. Can you try to do as many of these problems as you can? Press pause and then play when you're ready to check. All right, we'll start talking about our problems, and if at any time I'm going too fast, pause as often as needed. So for this first one, we divided it into 6 equal parts. Notice how I colored in one of the parts. So the part that's colored would be 1/6, because 1 out of a total of 6. And the part that's not colored would be 5/6. For number 3, I divided the shape into 3 equal parts and I colored 2 of the parts. So the parts that are colored would be 2 out of 3, or 2/3, and the parts that are not colored would be 1/3. For the last question for number 4, I divided this into 4 equal parts and I colored 2 of the parts. You can see in yellow this time. So the part that's colored would be 2/4, or I could say 1/2. And the part that's not colored would also be 2/4, or 1/2. Let's work a little bit more on these. Actually, we'll work more on these in our next lesson. But the next thing that we're going to do today is take a look at page 185. So if you have some crayons, the colors that you'll need for shirts, you'll need red, blue, and green, and then the pant colors you would need black, yellow, and orange. So I'm going to read the directions to you, and then I'm going to ask that you try this problem on your own. Jerome is deciding what to wear to school today. He has a red shirt, a blue shirt, and a green shirt. He has a black pair of pants, a yellow pair of pants, and an orange pair of pants. How many different outfits can Jerome make? Color the figures below to show the possible shirt and pant combinations that Jerome could wear. And then down here it's asking how many possible outfits can Jerome make. So just to get you started, I can see that Jerome, he could wear a red shirt and he could wear that with black pants. Now, he could also wear a red shirt with yellow pants. So could you see how many total combinations he can have? Press pause and play when you're ready to check. All right, second graders, so if I'm about to reveal an answer that you haven't solved yet, press pause. But to take a look at his red shirts, I can see that there's 3 different combinations he could make with his red shirts. He could wear black pants, yellow pants, or orange pants. Then with his blue shirts, there are 3 different types of pants that he could wear with that. And then with his green shirts, there are also 3 different pants. So giving me a total of 9 different outfits. All right, the last thing that we'll talk about today are our math boxes. So if you could open up your math journal to page 186, I'll quickly talk about the directions when you're all done. If you could take a picture and add that picture to Seesaw, and we will go over this page in our next video. So for question number 1, write the fractions, the part that's shaded, the part that's not shaded. Use a pattern box template to draw a shape that has at least one line of symmetry. There's lots of possible answers. You're just picking one thing. For question 3, complete the table, and then you can make up your own down below. Show 2 ways to make 50 cents. Circle the thing you are certain will happen. Either you will roll a 7 on a die, the temperature will be exactly 20 degrees Fahrenheit today, an hour will pass. And then question 6, which item is heavier? All right, I'll see you next time.